You ready to go play outside, Bobo? Not that way. This way. This way. Yeah. Hello, and welcome to Hereby Nature. Today, I'm going to be talking about Psalm 104:14. And today, I'm actually going to be taking the time to do every single one of those journal prompts just because it was just a really good one today. Psalm 104:14 in the New International Version reads as, "He makes grass grow for the cattle and plants for people to cultivate, bringing forth food from the earth." So, section 1, God's provision for all living beings. This verse reminds us that God sustains all life. So the cattle with the grass and us with food from the earth, ensuring that every creature has what it needs to thrive and not just survive. Reflect on a time when you clearly saw God provide for your needs. How did that experience strengthen your faith in His provision? So, for this journal prompt, just honestly, I've been out of work at this point for over a month, and we've always been very, ever since the bankruptcy, attentive to our finances and whatnot. So, we just thought, with me being previously the breadwinner of the house and no longer having any kind of income, that we wouldn't be able to pay our mortgage or any of our bills that we have. And it turns out that God, in fact, does provide. We have enough to pay the mortgage at the end of the month, or the start of the month, technically. And we have enough to keep the lights on, the water going. We have everything that we need. And I'm allowed to get the rest that I need, which is just insane. I know that I've mentioned the economy before, and sure, theoretically things are going to be getting better soon, but the price of eggs is still really bad. There's still a lot of things going on in the world right now, and there's a lot of change happening. But at the end of the day, I can definitely say God has provided for us. We haven't had to ask anybody for money, and we're able to pay for the things that we need. Next month, depending how today goes, maybe a little bit of a different story, but other things are also happening in the background that I'm not going to talk about. But all in all, I know deep down in my heart that God's going to provide for us. That's not even a question anymore. And for the second question in section 1, in what ways do you see God's care for all creation, both animals and human, around you today? How does this deepen your trust in Him? So today, it's currently 9 in the morning, and while I have been outside to see the birds and everything, and inside, I'm recording inside, and the birds, my little baby chicks, are well taken care of. I guess on the note of birds, perhaps we have this dead tree in our backyard. It's a dead palm. It kind of fell after one of the hurricanes or tropical storms that we had. It didn't fall, but it died. It died out, which was odd. But all of the palms fell off, and it's just the trunk now. Well, inside of that tree, I don't want to take it down now. Of course, I will have to around hurricane season. but it's still spring, and a couple sweet little birds have made their nest in there. And theoretically, there's some little baby chicks in there, and I don't want to take that down. Let alone, of course, right now we're going through monetary things, and we need to make sure that we have funds to eat and everything. But yeah, I guess resourcefulness is really like a key word for me right now. Like, God does care for everything. Me, the birds outside that are wild, helps me keep up with my little baby chicks. A couple of them the other day, they had a pasty butt, which is not fun. I'm not going to go into it because it's kind of gross, but I had to clean up their little bums. They're doing a lot better now that I brought them inside and out of the humidity, because it has rained in Texas weather, and just I'm in the armpit of Texas, in southeast Texas, so yeah, just, I guess for lack of a better phrase, like, I'm deep in my faith right now. Like, I there's without a doubt, like, God takes care of everything. Me, people I don't know, birds, bees. I saw a little bumblebee, a little bee bumbling about the other day. Made me so happy. Yeah, God does provide for everything as He sees fit. Section 2 is stewardship and cultivation is our responsibility. We have a partnership between divine provision and our responsibility to tend to the earth. We are entrusted with caring for the earth, working with the resources that God gives us to produce food and sustain life. The journal prompts are: how do you currently care for the resources God has entrusted to you, whether in nature, your community, or your personal life? So, with nature, I've been really working hard to get grass to grow where I want it to, and in our backyard. We have a really muddy spot in the back where it kind of slopes down, and it was just a headache to try to get anything to grow over there, and it finally is. It's pleasant. And around, we have like a little cluster of trees where it's 2 pine trees and an oak tree all together. Ever since I put like a little border there to keep the pine needles or pine straw all in like one little like garden bed for it, and then rake out everything else to let the grass grow. A lot more grass is growing there now. Like, there's just grass now. It's nice. Now I can kind of walk there barefoot, and it feels great. In my community, I've actually been blessed with working with the Praise Church in Beaumont, and now I'm actually on the social media team for them as a volunteer, and other stuff is in the work as well. With them, it's really nice just to be able to give back, especially after, like, not necessarily that this church saved me, but it is working to like restore my heart, even with like what some would say is like boring lessons. Right now they're doing, yeah, it's the people in his story paving the way to Jesus, and it's going to all acclimate on Easter whenever they go over Jesus, of course. And just, you would think like, oh, it's really boring to like learn about all of these like different people. Like, why am I learning about these old people, kind of thing? But they all have such beautiful stories that honestly still hold so much weight today if you just take a moment to like stop and think on it. and like actually listen to the word of God. But yeah, that's me rambling. I'm trying to give back to my community at this point, basically, is the short of it. And the resources in my personal life, kind of like the same thing with the backyard and tending to it and whatnot. But I do feel like it's important to share that it took a bankruptcy. It took me falling ill in hospital and just all of these things for me to finally see like God has given me so many like beautiful things, and it's my job to now care for them. Like if I don't, I used to say this in a negative way, but if I don't do something, then nobody will.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't go out and like fine clean the baseboards with a little like wet wipe or a sponge, I could ask my husband to do it, but he's got other stuff that he has to tend to right now. So I'm also the one at home and basically being a housewife, a homekeeper. So it's my job to keep the home in a reasonable, cleanly manner. And my husband will help make sure that it functions. But yeah, for the second question in section 2, what steps can you take to cultivate and nurture what he has given you? I guess moving forward, what I can continue to do is to kind of take like a morning inventory, kind of like if I was at work, because right now this is my job, is to keep the house nice, of what needs to be done, set a priority to-do list for each, like do this daily, because every day is going to be different. Some days I have to do laundry, other days I don't. Some days I have to hyper focus on the dishes and getting that nice and orderly. Some days I need to do, we finally bought a mop. So instead of just sweeping, I can mop the floors and make them look amazing like they need to be. So just stuff like that. Just, it seems like little stuff, but it all accumulates into such beautiful work. And then, of course, with the garden, just caring for that, making sure that I do my part and water the seeds. I know with my depression, sometimes I don't pay attention to the seeds, and some of the seeds that I started way back when haven't popped off, and that's 100% my fault. And I'm just going to start over and try again. That's really all you can do. And for section 3, God is the source of our sustenance. God designed the world in a way that everything has purpose. The grass, the plants, and food to sustain everything, life, just all of it. Creation is intentionally structured by God's wisdom and goodness to meet the needs of every single one of his creations. And speaking of creations, the first question is, if everything in creation has a purpose, what do you believe is your role in God's plan? Man, so I still don't know exactly what my role is. I feel like I have the skills to do a lot of different things. That's kind of where this YouTube channel comes into play. Like, yes, like I mentioned, I'm on the social media team for Praise, which I'll be able to help like people that I don't even know that I'm helping with that, because I'm a creative and I have a good eye for art. Um, this YouTube channel, especially because of this past Sunday's video, is like teaching me that not everything has to be perfect. It just has to be like said. I'm honestly really, really upset that the video didn't have me in focus, but I knew that that take of me telling that story is very, very important. And if you guys haven't watched this past Sunday's video, I'll make sure to put that down in the description. So after you watch this video, you can find that there. And it'll also be recommended on this at the end, because it's, in my opinion, one of the better stories that is true. Um, Everything that I'm saying, I'm trying to be like truthful. To go on a tangent, I was in sales. So, not that I would necessarily lie to people, but I would kind of not even necessarily stretch the truth, but depending on what they needed, I would tell them certain things and not tell them other things. So, I'm trying to be completely truthful now. Again, to go on a tangent. This one section. Yeah, I guess the short of it is to maybe help change people's minds. Like, I know I mentioned in one of my videos that this month has been like mindset March, to be lame about it, but my mindset on a lot of different things has changed for the better. Um, yes, there's still struggles. Yes, there's still like pain points, and there's still areas of opportunity, but I do feel like I'm on the right path now to like properly and correctly set my life in order, at least. And I would like to be that light for other people to kind of help guide them through whatever their darkness looks like. It could be a darkness that I've personally witnessed before, or a darkness that I've never even seen. But if I could help, honestly, anybody, even just one person listening, I guess that's what I feel like my goal is, just to help people. Like, truly help people, not just sell them on an expensive item and call that helping people, or helping with like a small task in like a customer service role. Like, I want to help save people's souls, because there are so many different ways nowadays that we're inundated with just these wrong ideas, these wrong, just everything in the world right now seems so wrong. I just I want to help people. And in the past, that has seemed like such a daunting task, because I'm only one person. And sure, oh, you're talking on the internet, so you're able to reach like a bunch of people. And yes, still, there's a lot of other people talking on the internet as well. So, how would I know that somebody that needs to hear something is going to find my video? I don't have a marketing team. I don't have the budget to boost my posts. And they keep changing the algorithm, so I don't know even how to keep up with that. Yet, I know that I really don't even need to keep up with that, because God will make sure that whoever needs to hear these things will hear them. Or whoever needs to find these things, they'll find them at the perfect time. That's a long-winded way of answering this question. And I hope it makes sense. To me, it makes sense. I guess it makes sense because I don't know what my role is, but I'm trying to find out. And I'm on this mission to find this. And I guess almost that's fun because it is a journey. It's not just like, here's your ticket, go to this place, sayonara kind of thing. Like, there is joy in the journey, and I'm finally finding that. As a brief pause, I do want to note that the garden, as of today, as posting this, it is currently up and going. I am technically a little bit behind on showing you guys the progress of these seeds that I'm planting in this video. So yeah, this must have been like very beginning, like right as I got out of being inpatient. Because I was talking with my dad in one of these videos on the phone, is why I remember that. Of course, you can see in the background the garden beds are up, but these amazing seedlings I actually planted this past Saturday in the ground. So I'm very excited for you guys to see this rapid succession of like proper growth. But back to the questions. How does acknowledging his provision change your attitude towards life's challenges and uncertainties? Oh man. So just acknowledging his provision. So to be kind of vague about everything that's happening in my life right now, because tomorrow, the day that this is being uploaded, is a really big day for me. It decides just honestly everything for me moving forward in my recent future, for my recent future, upcoming future. It's all dependent on what this one doctor says from our meeting that we have with them tomorrow. And while yes, it's scary that it's something that's completely out of my control, like so is my entire life, and it has been. But I digress. This year, with the rededication to God and everything with this channel, like so much, like honestly, just everything has changed. Like truly, truly for the better. And it's honestly insane. Like, while yes, I was in hospital for 12 days and I'm without my wedding rings, like, I have my husband still. I have everything that I need. I have life. I'm walking. For the most part, I'm cognizant. I still have a little bit of that amnesia, short-term memory loss with the mental health stuff that I'm going through right now. But I do, like, I finally feel like I found peace with everything. And I know that I say that while I'm, like, kind of tearing up, but, like, it's happy tears. Because, like, just everything. Everything could have gone such a different way in my life. Like, even just recently. With my hospital stay and everything, again, sure, yes, I lost my wedding rings, and that's like a big pain point for me. However, while I was inpatient, I got to meet so many great people in Houston that I wouldn't have normally gotten to meet. And just so much. I feel like that was like a gentle reminder, being in hospital for 12 days, that like, just so much. It was a reminder for so much. So much. Mainly being that I do have challenges in my future, and I do have uncertainties. I have no idea which way it's going to go. It could go one way or the other depending on the choice of the doctor, really. And yeah, just finding that peace. I know I've said it before, but again, the short-term memory stuff. I have a peace with like knowing that at the end of the day, that I'll be able to rest my head at my house in my bed. And well, yes, it was kind of scary for a little bit. Just all in all, I do truly believe that like everything happens for a reason. And goodness, my entire life has been, some would say, turned upside down since this recent hospital stay. But as dumb as it sounds, I feel like instead of it being turned upside down, I feel like it was turned right side up. I feel like I'm finding a lot of things that I was looking for. I forget even which video I mentioned it. I think my testimonial video, my like short mini one that I made, I said that I was looking in like all of these different places, like in apps, in goodness, like these self-help books. I was teaching myself how to do yoga. I was doing meditation and mindfulness and just all of these things. And then the second that I kind of start to turn my attention back to God and like actually like study, like actually do a Bible study and like meditate and focus on the word, like, yes, it's terrifying. I'm not going to deny that at all. But it's, I know that I'm strong enough to handle it because I've handled everything else in the past. And I also know that God and Jesus are like, and the Holy Spirit are like in my corner, like they have my back. And it's just, I guess I finally found that peace. Like peace, not like a piece of peace. But yeah, so the attitude change. I've gotten my peace. I've finally found that thing that I was looking for. Goodness, and even last night I was listening to the song "The Woman at the Well," or I think that's what it was. Let me see, because I want to give credit to the artist. I don't want to not mention her name. Olivia Lane. Yeah, "The Woman at the Well." It came up on my playlist that I'm like constantly revising and everything. And just, goodness, what is that? What is that lyric? Yeah, broken-hearted woman who met the Savior of the world. And I posted online too. I've never been a big wino, like drinking wine or like alcohol or like any of that, because I grew up Catholic and religious and all of this kind of stuff. But to kind of sum it up, like that song kind of answers like where my mindset and like how it's been shifted, kind of where my words fail. That song kind of picks it up. But yeah. If you like the video, please do so and hit that little like button down below. I would love to hear from you in the comments as well down below. And it'd be really cool if you could subscribe. That would be really helpful in helping me spread this message and do all the things. Hopefully you heard what you needed to hear today. And until next week, friends, I'll see you then, and have a blessed one. B-roll. You happy puppy? Yeah. Should be all set up. I just gotta get the bits.